After quite a few years without a true Twisted Metal game, rumors started to spread that a sequel was finally in the works. Speculation started to circulate that the game would be called either Twisted Metal X or Twisted Metal Harbor City, a previously unfinished sequel to Twisted Metal Black that was cancelled. The game would be handled by Eat Sleep Play, the very same group that developed Twisted Metal Head-On for the PS2. The team featured employees who previously worked for SingleTrack, the company that developed the first two games in the series, and after a few years in development, Twisted Metal was finally released for the PS3 in early 2012. Hello there. The game retains that same dark, creepy feel that we've grown accustomed to in the series, and most importantly features the exact logo from the original game, which just brings back so many memories. The biggest change you'll notice right off the bat is the character selection. Twisted Metal games of the past featured non-customizable pairings of driver and vehicle. For example, if you selected Sweet Tooth, you got Needles Cane and an ice cream truck. Here you not only select your vehicle, but then your driver as well. Drivers are split up into different groups, or gangs, consisting of the clowns, preachers, dolls, and skulls. This is definitely straying from the Twisted Metal roots a bit and was a little odd to me, but none of this really matters when the chaos kicks off. Along with some new entries to the series, come some returning vehicles like Axle, Shadow, Outlaw, Roadkill, and a few others. These vehicles can be visually customized with unique paint jobs. You can select from a series of pre-made templates or modify your own. Each vehicle also comes equipped with unique attributes like speed and armor, and it's definitely important to find what works best for you considering your style of play. I was a little bit concerned coming into this game that a lot of stuff would be different than the games of the past, including the controls, but I was pleasantly surprised to find that things remain pretty true to the original here. The face buttons still perform your basic vehicle functions like gas, brake, and a button for tight cornering. The shoulder buttons handle your weapon selecting and firing. The D-pad is used for unique attacks like freeze, mines, shield, and rear fire, all which use a special meter that regenerates with time. There are some other unique commands like double tapping the gas button for turbo, turning on headlights by pressing R1 and triangle, jumping by pressing L1 and R1 at the same time, and pulling the left analog stick back with Reaper to perform a wheelie. You can also perform a quick turbo dash, which is done by flipping the controller forward quickly. The only vehicle that features its own unique set of controls is Talon, as it's a helicopter. If you feel the need, there's also a tutorial mode that actually walks you through each command. While each vehicle features two unique special attacks, other weapons can be used universally. Weapon pickups are scattered throughout each level and, for the most part, remain the same as those seen in the past games, like homing missiles, power missiles, ricochet bombs, now in the form of RC cars, and napalm, with some new additions like the sniper rifle. The series has always been known for featuring a machine gun with endless ammo in addition to these special attacks, and that tradition continues here, but this time with a twist. You can select from different variations for your sidearm, including the classic vehicle-mounted machine guns, in addition to driver-wielding weapons like a submachine gun, 12-gauge shotgun, and a revolver, among others. Also new is the addition of auto-targeting for select weapons, which is great when you don't want to have to worry about lining up your vehicle just right, but can become a little bit of a problem with a lot of enemies on screen at the same time. And speaking of enemies, the AI is pretty relentless here. I find it a lot more difficult to break away from a battle when I'm about to die, with enemies often tailing me and plummeting me with missiles when all I want to do is find some health. This is where the speed attribute comes into handy. If you prefer to just dive into war, balls to the wall, you'll probably want a vehicle with a higher armor rating. Thankfully, in addition to weapons, there are plenty of turbo and health pickups throughout each stage. Health can be hidden at times in some tricky to get to places, but luckily these pickups will actually appear on your map, making them a lot easier to pinpoint. There is also the option for health semi-trucks that roll around, which will grant a player health after driving through them. Health can also be earned after delivering the final blow to a driver after his vehicle has been destroyed. Level designs have always played a big part in the franchise, and it's nice to see that this game doesn't disappoint. In fact, there's elements of almost all of the games in the series as far as environments go. Stages like the LA skyline is something we've seen many times before, and honestly, it just doesn't get old. Metro Square and its Christmas theme brings back memories of the very first Twisted Metal, and Diesel City makes me feel like I'm driving back into the world of Twisted Metal Black. It's nice to see them diversify a bit without limiting the game to one type of environmental style. New levels like Thrills and Spills Adventure Park is genius and makes me wonder why they never went the amusement park route in the past. My only gripe here would be that I wish there were more battlegrounds with only 8 in total, though these areas are quite large and can be broken down to smaller maps totaling 30. You can also select whether or not you'd like to see pedestrians and vehicle traffic in these stages, though not every level features these options. One thing that I really find fascinating here is the level of destruction that can be dished out to the environments. It feels like almost anything can be destroyed, whether it be trees, statues, theme park rides, or entire buildings. To help bring these levels to life is a soundtrack designed for destruction, featuring the likes of Rob Zombie, Avenged Sevenfold, NWA, Judas Priest, White Zombie, and Sammy Hagar. I actually really enjoy the diversity here, going from really heavy songs like More Human Than Human to I Can't Drive 55. I mean, I never pictured softer rock in a Twisted Metal game, but it made me crack a smile and it just works here. Other than the story mode, the game's main single-player modes of play consist of Kill All Bots, which is your typical battle against 1 to 10 enemies, with the player winning after all foes are killed, One-on-One Endurance, which places the player against an endless stream of enemies, one at a time, and the Max Cars Endurance, which features a set level of vehicles, with enemies respawning as soon as they've been defeated. There are also a handful of online game modes here as well, featuring your standard deathmatch, endurance, last team standing, and the most unique addition, nuke mode. Here you'll see different factions face off against each other, both possessing a statue that the opposing team needs to destroy by launching a nuclear missile at it. Unfortunately, by the time of this review, the servers aren't exactly crowded anymore. In fact, I couldn't seem to find anybody playing, which is a shame because I really wanted to try these modes out. And that leaves us with the game's story mode. Whereas games of the past let us embark on our mission with any character we wanted, here the game focuses on just 3 players. You'll follow the stories of Sweet Tooth, Mr. Grimm, and Dollface as you take part in Calypso's Twisted Metal tournament, with the winner being granted any wish he or she desires. The stories play out with some pretty brutal live-action cutscenes, which many criticized upon the game's release, but I feel like these really help bring the characters and the Twisted Metal world to life. They tried to accomplish this in the very first game, but it didn't quite work out, so I feel this was a long time coming. Oh, and for some reason Calypso looks like Adam Sandler. This mode focuses on more than just your standard deathmatch, mixing in other modes of play as well. I like that they spice things up here, and it actually adds to the overall challenge, like in the cage match, you're placed into a map with a small perimeter of area that you can fight in. Leave this area and you're only given a certain amount of time before your health starts to deplete. But the area also moves every so often, causing you and all of your opponents to quickly race over to the new caged area while trying to preserve your health. With so much going on, it can be easy to forget that you're also trying to eliminate all of your opponents as well. Other modes like the races are absolutely chaotic, and I love every minute of it. Not only do you have to worry about getting to the front of the pack, but you have to do so while you're dodging missiles, guns, and special attacks along the way, as well as dishing them out yourself. You'll also see certain objectives in matches, like having to eliminate the giant 18-wheeler they call Juggernaut, as if you don't, he will simply keep spawning more enemies, making it impossible to progress. Tasks like this can become tedious, but again they add something new and really create a depth that the mode didn't have in the past. And even the little things like the level introductions, complete with Calypso's commentary, really make me enjoy this mode. Twisted Metal was one of the first PlayStation games I ever played in 1995, and the sequel took the series to new heights. The third and fourth games were quite the change from what we knew, now being handled by 989 Studios. Small Brawl was fun, but fell a bit under the radar, which can also be said about the excellent Twisted Metal Head-On. Black completely revived the series, making it more popular than ever. Twisted Metal for the PS3 was a great entry in the series, and even though I just recently played it for the first time, I can understand what all the hype is about. As of right now, I'm not aware of any new Twisted Metal games in the works, which means for now, this is where the series ends. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was kind of a long time coming. Please subscribe to the channel. I've got many new videos in the works, so stay tuned.